G'day folks, welcome back to Thommo's Tin Shed. Now I haven't been in the shed for 8 weeks because I tried to slice my finger off. About 8 weeks ago I was loading up some 16 gauge sheet steel into the trailer, broke all my own rules, neglected to put the gloves on, and in the process I sliced through 2 tendons and a nerve group in my ring finger on my left hand, putting me out of action for 8 weeks. So this is the first chance I've got to get back in the shed since I've done that dumb move. And here we are. Now this is the track T, as you well know. If you've been watching the episodes, you know what we're up to, but as you can see, 8 weeks in the shed with nothing going on, all our beautiful clean material has now got a beautiful coat of rust over it. Surface rust on bare metal happens very quickly in this type of material. Cold rolled steel doesn't like the atmospheric cool, damp mornings, cold air, rainy weather. It will start rusting up very quickly. So before I can go on to what I was going to do, which is do the body skins, we're going to do a short little episode and show you how to get on top of all of this. We haven't been in the shed for a while, your metal's gone surface rusty, how do we clean it, how do we get to the next stage, how do we get back into the program? So stick with us, simple little one, won't be long, it's just showing you how to clean up the bare metal and get it back to something that's serviceable. And I'll probably even put some primer on it like I did with the bulkhead, because that way I can keep moving forward. So let's get into it, shall we? Righto, so what are the tools of trade we're going to need to do this job? Now remember, all we're trying to do is get this back to how I left it on the last episode. We have a even coating the surface rust over the flat sheets, but not only that, all the formwork and the framework has it as well. So the 5/16 bar stock, flat bar, the angle line on the subframe, all got a coat of rust on it. All has to come off and back to a bare, clean metal finish. So on the bar stock and all the subform, we're going to use the good old-fashioned 5-inch grinder with a wire brush head. Nothing crazy there, just a wire brush head. We're basically fast-tracking the wire brush principle. We're going to brush off all that metal. You just want this formwork back to a nice clean metal finish. Now, these do get a bit grabby in the corners. They're high speed, you've got to hang on to them. I suggest that you wear gloves when you're doing this, and also make sure you're wearing some safety glasses. These aren't, but when I do it, I absolutely do wear the safety glasses. And you want to clean all the framework. Anything that's not flat sheet, you want to hit with this. This is the fastest way of cleaning up. I'll show you in a bit of time lapse. Now, if you can't get in the corners with this because it's a bit grabby, simply go and grab your quarter drive, your impact driver, and grab these little wire brush heads. Really simple, pretty cheap, but that's good for getting in the corners. So where the angle line in the corner or around these areas through here where it gets a bit grabby with that, that's ideal. So wire brushing for the framework. What's next? So the next process for most guys and girls in the shed will be one of these. Okay, the old orbital sander. Now, if you, like me, have been watching Carl Fisher from Make It Custom or Jordan Bennett from Bennett's Customs, you see them refer to this as a DA. Took me a little while, but a DA is a dual action sander. But here in Australia, this is a random orbital sander, or as we like to call them, an orbital. But that's what most guys and girls will go to next. They'll go with like a 36 or a 40 grit, and they'll do a coarse run over the materials, but it really gouges the material badly, puts lots of scratches in there. Then I'll come back, put an 80 grit on, and they'll finish with an 80, which is what I do too. Always finish on an 80, but there's a better way. Now, that is for finishing. This is for dressing. And as you can see, it's pretty clean. Because I haven't used it a lot, but it's a new best friend, let me tell you folks. So this is a drum sander, or drum polisher, whatever you want to call it. It uses a very hard, coarse Scotch-Brite type material that comes in a 60 and 80 grit. You can get a wire brush head for it as well. I don't have those, but this is an 80 grit. And I'm going to show you in the process just how good these things are. So they basically give you a nice dressed, almost brushed finish. And the reason I like these is because it doesn't take any of your core material out of your skin. Your original substrate, your bare metal, all this does, it take off the oxide layer, the rust layer, and leaves you this beautiful brushed, machine finished surface to work with. Absolutely killer. And then I come along with the 80 grit and I give it that matte finish, ready for paint. I'll explain the whys on the 80 grit. There are a lot of guys and girls out there who will go next step and go 120 grit and then go to 240 grit, but there's a reason I stop at 80. I will explain that later. But for now, I think it's easier if I just show you. I'm just going to jump on a time lapse. I'm going to use the wire brush to do the framework. I'm going to use the barrel sander to clean off all the flat areas. Then I'll use the random orbital, to do all the dress finish and come back to it when it's all done. Then I can show you exactly how it should look and how good each of these does their own particular job. Pretty important. Everything has the right tool for the right job. I'm going to show you in a very short sequence. Then when we get back, I'll explain why I stopped my metal finish at 80 grit. And I think it'll clarify it quite nicely. But in the meantime, let's stop the talk. Let's get into this. I'll crank up the machinery, put some music on, and I'll show you how we get this rusty finish back to a beautiful piece of shiny metal. So let's get into it. So there you go, time lapse completed. Just a quick brief and update. We use the wire wheel to go over the framework and the formwork, just to get all that surface off the hard parts. We then use the drum roller, the drum sander, to take off all the big flat areas to get that nice sort of matte finish. And then we finish it up with 80 grit on the orbital sander. Now, why the 80 grit for me and not 240? I find that the 80 grit surface, that matte finish, is ideal for the etching process. When I put etch primer into this, I want good adhesion. I want the paint to stick on it. If I go to a 120 or a 240, it's putting a lot of shine into that finish, and I run the risk of low adhesion in the priming process. Hence the reason I stop at 80. Now it's up to you. Bells and whistles, guys and girls, you do whatever you want to do out there. But for me personally, I find that there's enough finish in the 80 so that my etch primer bites in and seals up nicely. When I do the primer surfacer, I actually use a high build primer surfacer. So the score marks and the swirl marks from 80 grit, they all disappear in the priming section. So no big deal. Now I've got to get this into primer now. I'm not going to show you that, it's just a bit of painting. I'm also going to finish off welding this top deck. As you can see, I've clear coated it all in place. I can now do the welding process, finish that seat box, and then what I'll do from there is I'll pull it all apart and I'll get some etch primer onto that. So when we come back to the next episode, which will be episode 4, this will be all primed up, this will be finished, and we'll be onto the body, which is what we talked about last time. So that's about where we need to be for now. What I think we'll do is we'll wrap it up right here. We're back to where we were at, square one. I'll get this thing primed up and welded up and finished up, ready for the next episode. And then we'll get on to the body. We'll show you how to do the templating. We've got some bead rolling. We've got some rivet work to do. We're gonna really make this body look something special, but that's on the next episode. In the meantime, don't forget, if you like what we're doing here, hit like, subscribe, hit those notifications, and we'll see you on another episode of Tommy's Tent Shed. But in the meantime, don't forget, stay cool, stay safe, and we'll see you around.